The best way to get better at programming is to practice. In this example, we're going to look at using nested loops to print out a box shape. As always, this file is available for download from a link provided in the description, or you can type it in yourself. I'll give you a couple seconds so you can go ahead and download it. You can pause the video and attempt it on your own, or simply follow along with us. All right, so let's get started. So we have here our main. We have a letter variable, which is just showing a pound sign or a hash mark if you prefer. And we want to print this out in a square box, 10 characters by 10 characters. So since this is needing to be done a set number of times, we're going to go ahead and use a for loop. Int I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. Then we'll have our body. Now, we need to print both rows and columns, and so the easiest way to do this using for loops easily is to have a nested for loop. Say for int, and this time I'm going to use j. I can't use I because I'm already using I, so I need to do a new variable. That's j equals 0, j is less than 10, and j plus plus. Notice that it works exactly the same whether it's I or j. In fact, whatever variable we put in there, it would work just fine. In our inner loop, since we're printing out the columns, we're going to say cout, and then we're going to specify letter. I'm not going to put an indel here because this is the columns. I need to make sure we stay on the same row. After that inner loop, I'm going to want to move to a new row. And so here I'll say cout inline. If I go and run this, you're going to notice it prints a little rectangle. Now, this is 10 rows by 10 columns. Yes, it looks rectangular. That's because of the size of the font and the type of character and stuff like that. It is a 10 by 10. Inside of our go further question, we ask, well, can we change the letter and can we change the size of the box? And the answer for both of those, of course, is yes. I'll specify a end variable, int end, and I'll default it to 10. Then inside my for loops, instead of saying I less than 10, I'll say I less than end and j less than end. At this point, it does the exact same thing. Now we'll just do a couple of prompts. Cout. What letter would you like to display? What size box would you like? And you can see that. Now if I go run this, what letter would I like to display? I'll display a star. What size box? A 5. And you notice it prints out a 5 by 5 box. Once again, it looks rectangular. It's actually a 5 by 5 grid though. It just has to deal with the fonts and that type of stuff. So hopefully this was easy, kind of gives you an idea how to use a nested loop just real quickly. You're more likely to see this with for loops, especially if you're using a matrix or some sort of multi-dimensional array. So you will typically see it in that type of environment. Hopefully this helped you. If so, please consider giving the video a like. Look at the rest of the videos in this series if you want to get better at programming in C and C++, and consider subscribing to the channel.